Abraham Lincoln is one of, if not the greatest president in American history. And why wouldn't he be? He abolished slavery and was an icon for racial equality. Except he wasn't. While a great man in many respects, including his leadership skills, honesty, and overall great demeanor, the guy just didn't do as much for African Americans in abolishing slavery as we are taught in school. Yes, Lincoln was personally opposed to slavery, but his contribution to the movement ended there. Because before Lincoln could actually do anything about slavery, the southern states seceded from the Union to form the Confederacy. In fact, this idea that Lincoln wanted to fight for the abolitionist cause is outrageous, as he stated, "My paramount objective in this struggle is to save the Union, and not to save or destroy slavery." Also, Lincoln's view of anti-slavery doesn't mean he was necessarily pro-African equality either, as he stated in 1858, "And inasmuch as they cannot so live, while they do remain together, there must be the position of superior and inferior, and I, as much as any other man, am in favor of having a superior position assigned to the white race." In another instance, Lincoln stated, "Our republican system was meant for a homogeneous people, and as long as blacks continue to live with whites, they constitute a threat to the national life. Family life may also collapse, and the increase of mixed-breed bastards may someday challenge the supremacy of the white race." Granted, in the sake of fairness, this was the middle of the 1800s, so it would be outrageous to hold Lincoln to the same standards of racial equality as today. And it's worth noting that especially during his presidency, almost a decade after he said those two quotes I just cited, numerous sources show his attitude towards people of color did improve. However, there is one thing about good old Honest Abe that is often grossly overlooked. For being called the Great Emancipator, Lincoln did not do a lot of emancipating. You're probably saying he signed the Emancipation Proclamation that eliminated slavery, which is true, but grossly misunderstood. The Emancipation Proclamation was an executive order, not a law, that was signed by Lincoln on January 1st, 1863. However, it had a few major caveats, with the first being it only freed slaves in the Confederacy. Seeing as how the Confederacy was its own separate nation at the time, such a decree would be as useless as Russia's Vladimir Putin declaring that all left-handed Americans are owed $1 million by the United States Treasury. The second major caveat of the Emancipation Proclamation was that it did nothing to free the slaves who were in the Union. 5 states in the Union, Delaware, Maryland, Kentucky, Missouri, and West Virginia, had slaves during the entire course of the Civil War. And to close things out about Lincoln, let's talk about the 13th Amendment, which outlawed slavery. This amendment was supported by Lincoln, but it is a bit extreme to give the man credit for becoming part of the Constitution on December 18, 1865, because it happened 8 months after he died. Thanks for watching this video about Abraham Lincoln. While Lincoln in many ways was a great man, I hope you could see that like most great people, history only remembers a partial narrative of the man. I'm Jim Huss, that's a fact, Jack, and you can take it to the bank.